Hey everyone, my name is Johnny Lawrence and I want to introduce you to something a little bit different. I want to introduce you to the Strength Shed Sessions.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Johnny Lawrence and welcome to the Strength Shed. I have decided to bin saying Strength Shed Sessions because it's going completely wrong all the time. I stutter, mess up, all sorts of things. I'm here today with a wonderful person, and that is Geach. She works in a gym, or owns a gym, over in Tresillian here in Cornwall called Train. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to this?
Yes.
You all ready?
All ready.
Do I need tissues?
No, I reckon we'll be all right, I think.
We'll hold it to that.
Stay strong.
So, first question is, tell people a bit about yourself. Tell them about your gym.
So I'm Carly and I have a gym in Tresillian. It's a functional fitness gym, so class-based only. We've been open for a year, so we've had the first year experience the pandemic in that year, but it's
Very
still
lucky,
going,
yeah.
still going.
Oh, if you can make it through this, you can make it through anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a great concept, the whole we train, everything. I'm sure we'll get into that in a little while. But first question is, where were you born? Where did you grow up and what was it like?
Okay, so I was born in Trelisk Hospital, so Cornish, born and bred. And
you got a cracking tan.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Beach weather. I actually, my parents still live in Tresillian, where I was brought up, so it's not as weird to have a gym in Tresillian and live in Falmouth as what it seems. But,
Is that where you live, Falmouth?
I live in Falmouth,
Okay.
but gym's in Tresillian. So, yeah, so we have... So yeah, that's how we train.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? Everyone's like, why have you got a gym that far away? But
yeah, so you got your family there. So you grew up around Tresillian. What was that like?
Tresillian is a nice place to live. It's really you still need to drive to Truro. So we spent most of our teenage life, like my mum and dad drove us. Me and my sisters had taxis. So
how many sisters you got?
2 sisters.
Okay.
So I was the youngest of 3.
2 sisters.
Yeah.
Dad was
yeah.
quite the chap then.
Yes, he was. He worked away a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
You can imagine.
And what was it like there? You enjoy it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I had quite a normal childhood. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy
good.
child life?
Happy child life, yeah.
Good schooling?
Good schooling. Didn't really
Yeah.
like school that much.
No,
kind
no.
of thought...
Was you in sports at school?
I actually wasn't. No, not at all.
No?
No, I used to play netball, but again, never seriously.
Yeah, because you're quite tall really, aren't
yeah.
you? How tall are you?
5'10" and a half.
I like the way you had to think about that.
Yeah, had to think.
Oh, that's exactly the same height as me.
Yeah,
Actually, no.
most men are the same height as
Yeah.
me.
That's
Yeah.
cool though, man. I mean, so you were good at netball?
Yeah, but I never took it competitively or anything.
Yeah.
So
Why not?
yeah, no, wasn't into it at school. So there's still time if you're not into your fitness or
There
your
it goes.
child.
I mean, it's funny actually. Most of the trainers that I've interviewed, they've all said the same thing. I hated sports at school,
Yeah.
and they usually blame their PE teacher and
Yeah.
go and so on and so on. But I mean, it's funny how you end up in the fitness industry, which is sort of seamlessly links to the next question, which is why did you choose the fitness industry?
Why did I choose the fitness industry?
Because I assume you were into fitness before you started to run a gym.
Yeah, so I remember the first time I ever ran around the point in Falmouth. I remember that first run. I couldn't get from lamppost to lamppost without my calf seizing up.
Yeah.
I hadn't done any form of fitness ever before. And I remember trying to go running with my lodger and they had to pretty much carry me around the point.
Yeah.
I don't even think we went the whole way round. It was ridiculous.
So where did you start? Gilly Beach?
Yeah, near Gilly, near Castle Beach, and I couldn't even get to Gilly. It was that bad. And I remember I got really into it, and then if I didn't run around the point before work, because I was working in Tony and Guy, where I worked for 8 years, but if I didn't run around the point before, I kind of felt like my day would drag and go slow. So the endorphins I'd get from the training were amazing.
It's great training. Cardio in the morning is the one, I think.
Then I realised that without that, my day, I just didn't feel the same. So I got really into my training. And then obviously I was doing clients. I worked my way up to the style director in Tony and Guy. And without, I would start, all my clients were saying, so what are you into and what do you do? And I'd start inspiring them into fitness.
Nice.
So then they would come running with me or they would, and that's how it kind of started. And then I got my qualifications after about 2 years before I left Tony and Guy.
Nice.
And then I started running booty camp.
Right.
CJ's
that.
Booty Camp. I was trying to come up with a name, and I just thought, I don't know why, but it happened to be CJ's Booty Camp, and which was going to be for all ladies only. And I'd kind of, they'd sign up for a week. So it was a week for them to try different things with different instructors. And then they would decide what they liked. And then they would hopefully then be into fitness. So I would have different local instructors come in and do their session.
Yeah.
So they would take a session, and then hopefully they would get loads of clients from it.
What would you do in that? Would you just doing the running, or was it?
So I took I would solely do 2 or 3 days, and then I'd get 2 instructors in for 2 of the days, and then I would train with them all. So it was quite fun.
So you went from the running into sort of like a boot camp type thing.
Yeah. So I was doing Muay Thai as well, Muay Thai boxing. So that was what I was. That's what
How did that happen?
So we started doing it as Tony and Guy. We started having self-defence lessons as a salon, just for fun and for team bonding.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, and then got really into Thai boxing, and then so I was Thai boxing and running boot camps, and really enjoying kind of encouraging people into fitness.
Started to get that feeling that you're helping people.
Helping people.
Was you getting good feedback at the time?
Really good feedback, but I would say I was very much, I was so into my fitness, I was very obsessive with being very careful of what I ate by then, and so the instructor I am now, if I was as obsessed with fitness now, I wouldn't be the instructor I am now.
Yeah.
So I needed to almost go through that, but now I encourage all my clients not to be like that.
Yeah.
So
it's hard though, isn't it? Because to some degree, you're absolutely right. You have to go through that, and the key word is through.
Yeah.
Don't stay there.
You have to go through it.
Yeah.
And I remember going out for family meals, and I'd be like, "Oh gosh, this is going to set me back now," because Thai boxing obviously was very weight focused.
Right.
If you didn't make your weight, then so it was all about calories, and it was all about being as light as you possibly could.
Yeah.
Which does form really bad eating habits.
So you competed then as well then?
I did.
Wow.
I didn't like it though.
No?
No.
I mean, it's hard to like.
And I didn't know I didn't like it at the time. So I thought I liked it because I loved the training.
Yeah.
But now I look back, I'd happily say, God, I hated fighting. It was horrible.
It's the hardest thing. It's like a lot of the sort of combat sport training is fun. To a degree, unless you're doing it for 6 hours, then it stops being fun. But I mean, there does come a point where you do compete, and like you either like getting hit or you don't, right?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know anyone that really loves it. But
and it's like you've got to hurt someone.
Yeah.
Like you've got to really want to hurt someone, and I never had that in me to really want to hurt someone.
Yeah.
I think you've got to have something that you can get. You've got to have something to fire you up to
and tap into a little bit as well.
Yeah, and I especially when I had Tilly, I was like, hang on a minute, this girl's a mum, I'm a mum. Why do we want to hurt each other?
Kids ruin that killer instinct for you.
There's no reason why we need to hurt each other. Let's just be friends. And
that makes a lot of sense. And so when did you stop doing that, Thai boxing?
I stopped doing it. I hurt my shoulder in my last fight. So I couldn't box. And then I think once you stop, it's something you have to either be really obsessed with or not at all.
Getting back into it.
You can't half do it. You can't half.
How long did you have off with the shoulder?
A year.
That's a long time to be out.
And then I started CrossFit.
Okay.
So
right.
That's like my transition into CrossFit.
Because it's similar, isn't it? It's like very diverse in the movements and different challenges. You know, 1 minute it'll be strength, then it'll be endurance, then it'll be fitness, and then it goes on and on. So you went to CrossFit. Okay.
Went to CrossFit, a Jolly Sailor, and I loved it. Like the energy, and it was really fun. And there's always so much to learn. It was constantly learning, like different moves, and still some of them I haven't even mastered. Like I can't.
That's why they call it training, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I like loads of aspects of CrossFit. And then I started taking my boot camps there. So I had then a venue as well to progress. So I could progress everyone at boot camp, and kind of had better equipment then. Was at a better gym to have more equipment. And
so what made you think to yourself, do you know what, I might open up a gym? I mean, because that's a big decision, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like I'd always knew I wanted my own venue. Didn't ever know where that was going to be. I always visioned it probably more to be in Falmouth. But then I just started looking really, and knowing that it was something I'd watched people open gyms, and I knew that I always wanted to do it, but it was finding the right place and having the right kind of, I'd say, support behind me.
Yeah,
and
support. Yeah.
It was really nice. My mother-in-law was really encouraging. Not quite my mother-in-law because we're not married, but she was really encouraging, and that really helped. I had a really solid Truro boot camp. They were a very small group, and they were really solid, and they were all like, you know, you can do this. And
like a family feel.
Just having that, they're all members now at the gym, so they've been really supportive. And just having that, so then I was like, hang on, all my clients are in Falmouth, and I've only got you guys in Truro.
Yeah.
But actually going to Tresillian and opening the gym, it made a lot of sense. And the unit's amazing. It's really new. And
the concept's fantastic. The whole We Train, and you talk about that. I mean, what brought that on?
It's a lot of we. It's actually my brother-in-law.
We,
My brother-in-law rang me one day and said, I've decided, I think you should call your gym We Train. And I remember going, but then I Googled it. Yes.
He's going to take credit for that.
Yeah,
He'll love that.
So he did. Yeah, he did. He said, I think you should call it We Train because it's a community feel, and it's all about being, you know, together as a community. And so I Googled it, and there was like We Train meant like We Train carers for older people.
Okay.
So I was like, I can't use that, you know, because it's already used. But We Train Cornwall hadn't. And then one day I was driving along, and I was like, I can combine the we into we box, we lift, we exhale, we balance, we hit. And I thought because I do retreats as well once a year, hopefully a couple of times a year. I thought we could do we retreat, and the we's just keep coming now. We're obsessed with the we's.
So you were telling me a story earlier about music. What was that? You got songs
we like songs with the word we in as well. We are really sad like that.
No, but that's fun. That's all part of it. That little inside joke, that bit of fun. It's like, it shows that you've got that real family environment.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily family, but you know what I mean? It feels like that really close bond. So next question, more of a tricky one.
Yeah.
What's one of the hardest things you've ever been through in your life?
I'd say the hardest, because I've split the hardest and painful time kind of up.
Okay.
I'd say the hardest was probably last year. I've been in the gym. I knew the gym was going to be hard for that first year, but I never knew financially how hard it would be.
Right. What do you mean by that?
Well, you obviously only start with X amount of members.
Yeah.
I was lucky to have any members when I started. And I would say we've been a busier gym from the start.
Right.
We've always had members, and our classes have always had someone to them.
Yeah.
But I was obviously substituting half the costs for the gym for the first kind of part. And I remember before Christmas last year, I had no money whatsoever. And it was like really, it was like months would go by and then another month. And it was just such a hard time because I was kind of working just to pay for the gym, not having any money. Mike was obviously not having any money as well because he's paying everything. And it was just Mike's my partner.
Right, got it. Okay, sorry.
We were just finding it really hard. So I'd say definitely the hardest time. Because it's also finding that work-life balance. It never goes away. No. Whereas if like some things kind of happen, but then they go away or life goes on. Whereas with work-life balance, it was like full on, but yet financially I had to keep working and doing the hair on the side and
oh really? So you do that too?
Just to pay for the gym. Wow. So without that, I wouldn't have been able to open the gym. So. It was, I've never ever worked so much.
Your stress was very high at that time.
Yeah, it was, definitely.
Losing a lot of sleep.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I couldn't sleep. I think I was sleeping too much.
Okay.
I literally would go to sleep.
Well, sometimes that can be a thing.
So tired. Yeah, exactly. I think that's how I deal with things.
Wow, so how did you come out of that situation in the end? How did that sort of go away?
I think it is like trusting the process. I think that's a massive thing I've learned is to trust the process. So accept that, just keep doing what you do. And I was really lucky. My friend who has 3 gyms, I think it's near Yorkshire, he said to me, look after your members and your members will bring you members. And that's always the concept I've had. Is don't worry about getting new members, just look after the ones you have.
Nice.
And they will bring other members in.
Lovely.
And I genuinely think trusting what he said is the best thing that
It's hard though, isn't it?
He could have said, yeah.
In situations like that, it's really difficult to trust the process. It's the same with anything. Like if you have a fitness goal,
Yeah.
you know, and you're somebody that maybe wants to lose weight, and you've decided that you're going to step on the scales each week,
Yeah.
and then there's an inevitable week where nothing's happened,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, I need to change something. No,
Yeah.
trust the process.
Just trust, yeah, exactly.
And it's the
it was
same
like,
as what you're saying.
Yeah, it was like, no, I'm looking after everyone I've got in here, and
Yeah.
I'm really lucky that I have these, because I could have had no members. It was a risk, but
Yeah.
now it's really good. And now I was in there this morning and I was thinking, do you know what? I feel like I'm not coaching. Like I feel, but it's because they all know what they're doing now, and they're helping newer people coming through. So
You've
members are
nurtured
starting
that.
to help other members.
Absolutely brilliant.
And it felt like, this isn't as stressful as it once was, because everyone was new and now they're not. And
I mean, I would argue that is the art of coaching.
Yeah.
Is to coach others, to coach others.
To coach others, and that's the biggest reward, isn't it?
So really, when you're there, you are coaching.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're going to have a moment where they're like, I'm not sure about that. Let me just ask Carly, you know?
Yeah.
So you're there, and that's, I think you've done really well with that.
Yeah.
Do you ever take the opportunity to like be proud of yourself and say,
No.
I did that?
No, I don't think I do.
No.
No.
Maybe you should.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what's that, a year now?
It's a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I mean, like, you know, I've thought many times about opening a gym like yours, but I bottled out and did this instead.
Yeah. No.
You know, because it's hard what you do. I've seen lots of people do that. So yeah, I think you should take that opportunity to be proud of yourself. You know, it's important.
Thank you.
So yeah, you've come out the other side of that, and things are in a good place for your gym.
Yeah, really good. We're busier than we've been, and yeah, it's going really well.
Yeah.
We've had more people sign up than ever before. It's been constantly busy. I think maybe COVID has made people realise how health is so important.
Yeah. Talk about that. I mean, how has COVID changed things for you? I mean, there must have been a period where your gym wasn't open. That must have been a worrying time.
It was really worrying. It was scary not to, again, like, you know, you've got these outgoings and you don't know what damage it's going to have on the other side. But I think one thing, I've never laughed so much in lockdown with my members. Like, my members literally kept me...
You did some great stuff on social, yeah.
And I love that everyone is they are so much fun.
Yeah.
And I think we all bring out the best side in each other.
Because you did that thing with the fridge, right?
Yeah,
that was
opening
amazing.
different things, getting out random things like the fridge.
Yeah.
They just they are so fun that when you go into E-Train, it's like a happy place, because you automatically have everyone who's on the same level wanting the same...
It's all being daft.
Yeah, and it is. They are ridiculous, but sometimes we all are. I am too.
Yeah.
We are.
No, but there you go.
Yeah, we are ridiculous.
Nice.
At times.
That's a new one.
But we have a lot of fun.
No, that's amazing. I mean, that's why people come. Some days, like, you know, we don't always want to exercise, right? People think as coaches, trainers, that we have this special potion that makes us really motivated all the time.
Yeah.
But we wake up with days like,
and that's why I wanted like a really fun gym, and the idea was to have like balls and socials, so people actually have something to go so if it's not always about the training. If someone wants to go for like lifestyle but have nice things to look forward to, and you know, we were going to do a big summer ball this year that had to get cancelled. Doing retreats, so it gives people a chance to go away, and it's just about that, like, social. You don't always have to take training really seriously, because as long as you're moving and you're there, like, you still get the same feelings.
Yeah, I mean, the proof of what you're saying there is exactly as you said over lockdown. The silly thing, you kept that community going, even though you wasn't able to congregate at the gym.
Yeah.
You were still able. I mean, Zoom. Zoom and all things like that. I mean, I wish I'd bought shares in that company.
I know, don't we all?
Yeah, so because it's done really well. But I mean, you managed to keep that going, and that says a lot about the ethos of We Train, doesn't it? Really, and you really, as a person at the top. Wow, that's like I say, be proud of yourself, because I mean you're still doing it and you're keeping it going. I mean, what's a problem that you feel like you've had to overcome yourself recently or previously?
I'd say a problem, I became a single mum when Tilly was 4 and Dawson was, transitioned when I was pregnant with Dawson. And then when he was a few months old, I moved out.
Right.
And that was really hard, because I had to not only create an income for myself, but I also had 2 children.
Yeah.
So they came with me. So I used to take them with me a lot. And work with them. And I'd say that was really hard, because I had to figure out, you know, like you say with the gym, you kind of thought you were going to do it and then you haven't.
Yeah.
But you've had, sometimes when you're almost like forced into something,
Yeah.
it drives you to do it. And I think I didn't open the gym straight away, but I did set up a health and wellbeing at Pendennis. So when I was a single mum, I decided that work placement health training is a brilliant idea. And I set up a gym in Pendennis with their support, and I put a timetable of classes on for them. So they get classes
So
after
that
work.
their gym?
They had a mini rehab space, so we turned it into a gym.
So Pendennis is in the boat makers?
Yard,
yeah,
yeah,
boat
boat
yards,
makers,
yeah.
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So they get a timetable. So in like after work, they can go straight up to the hospitality suite, it's called, and they can have classes in. So they so it works really well, and I put all my energy into creating that. And I found as a single mum, not only did that make me really, it gave me a purpose.
Yeah.
Not that my kids wouldn't, but it's, you know, when you're in it, it's not quite the same.
No, I know what you mean.
So it gave me that drive, and I think that then I met Mike, my partner. He was working. Yeah, he's still one of my clients in theory.
Okay. Is he still paying?
He does still pay. Yeah, I know.
Amazing.
He still does pay. Yeah, no, he
You're
still
like, come on,
pays.
Mike, you
I
lent me
know.
your membership, buddy.
So then I met Mike, and then we now have Safi together. So for me, that just having that drive and purpose, then good things happened.
Yeah, I mean, wow. There's so much to sort of unpack there. I mean, the fact that you said you had to.
Yeah.
You had to do that.
I had to.
Yeah.
I had no choice. I had to make an income. And because I was always self-employed before, I could have gone back to hairdressing maybe, but it was my passion, like it's your passion, isn't it, to follow? And I decided that I wanted to, you know, keep going with
exercise.
Yeah, with fitness, and that's the difference when
brave.
you have to, or when you.
I can't fail.
Yeah, right. You can't, and when you can't fail, you won't fail.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes if you have the choice, when you can't fail, you won't.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. It's that survival instinct in you to go, right, okay.
Yeah. Figure out a way to make it work.
Problem
solution.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you do it.
Amazing.
And, I mean, the kids, you know, they had to come to boot camp.
Yeah. Fittest kids ever.
They were awesome. I used to scoop him up, put him in his car seat, and he used to not have a clue he even went.
Yeah.
It's at 6 a.m, you know, and that's how I kind of dealt with it. But I remember like going through that breakup. I remember not sleeping. I remember I used to wake up and I used to dread to look at my phone because it would be like midnight.
Yeah.
And I'd know then that I'd be up until like 5 a.m. and experiencing that not sleeping and what that did, that stress of, it's almost like you almost get like post-traumatic stress after, I think, because it was very traumatic, like for me.
No,
like
it would be.
And I think you
like
never feel quite the same
torture.
after.
No.
You always feel, but what I've learnt from it, I wouldn't change it. And I think that's...
You've just encapsulated the whole purpose of what I do here, and that is that, you know, people think that to be successful, you have to make all the right decisions and you have to do everything right, but actually sometimes when stuff goes wrong, it's the biggest teacher. You learn, you evolve, and you move forward. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, killing this is it's crazy. Is that it on that one, do you think? On that question?
So definitely that was, I
love that. That's fantastic. I mean, so that's a problem you've overcome yourself. I mean, it sounds similar to the hardest, but what's the most painful thing you think you've been
Definitely through? Becoming that transitioning into single mum life.
Yeah.
Like I say, I remember not sleeping, like every night I'd dread it. I'd wake up, be wide awake, I'd be like, oh no.
It feels like it brings back them feelings a little bit.
Looking at my phone, go, oh no, it's midnight. This means I'm going to be up for ages. And it would just be, it was like torture. Yeah. And I really feel for people that are going through, because now I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
You know, and I it's almost bizarre that I went through it because I can't imagine not sleeping now. I love my sleep. But it's so hard when you're going through it. And no matter what anyone says or, you know, it's just a process. Again, trusting that process because you go through it, but you do come out the other end. And it's trusting the process and time.
Yeah.
Like everyone always said, it's time. And
do you have good support around you, friends and stuff?
Yeah, I did. My family are amazing. And I have friends that, you know, I could think of a few friends that literally I have so much time for, because they were amazing.
You do find out who your friends are in times like that, don't you?
You do?
You do. I mean, that's not to say anything negative against anyone, but I mean, you look back and think, you were there.
Do.
You know?
And I always think you can pay it back.
Yeah.
So you never know which friend might go through a similar thing or maybe something different.
Yeah.
And that's when I always think you've got to pay it back and never forget, because...
Very important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I keep saying that because I don't know what to say. It's just like, you know, I never have any expectations of these interviews, and, you know, quite often I find myself speechless. but I mean, that's a hell of a thing, a hell of a lesson to have learned and to maybe pass on to other people.
Yeah.
So you've gone from that to owning your own gym. If you put that with the story you told before, it's quite some journey.
Yeah.
Should be more proud of yourself. What's going on? Should have like a parade or something. Okay, so that's one of the more painful things. What do you think makes you uniquely you?
I asked Mike this before I came here.
Yeah.
And
What
he
did he
said
say?
my big bum.
Oh.
But, you know, it's very rude.
Oh, Mike, the bomb blast.
So what makes me uniquely me?
He's not going to love that.
I know. That's what I have to
That's the ultimate payback for that comment.
I know.
Yeah,
hey?
well done. Well played.
I think I have an ability to adapt to people. So I think part of that was working in Tony and Guy from the age of 16. I was doing clients' hair, you know, that shampooing them if I wasn't cutting at that point. But I think I learned how to adapt to people and
communicate.
Yeah, I think that's social skill, and I think we always say I can seem to get people talking. Yeah, I'm really good at getting people talking.
Yeah, well, we're late for this interview because you've got talking to
because I've got chat. Sorry.
Although she doesn't need a lot of help, to be fair.
So I think I have an ability to get people talking, and then I always think if you can get people talking, then you can get the best out of them, because you know then. It's
important because, I mean, in the fitness industry, people, right or wrong, they attach shame to how they feel. Yeah. And, you know...
They do.
They do. And I suspect, you know, say you have somebody who's really overweight, they're ashamed of some of the things they do, and they needn't be, but they are. Yeah. And they come in and they see someone like you, they might find that really difficult to talk to you, but they still need to achieve what they want to achieve. Yeah. And if you can disarm them on that and help them and get them to talk to you, you're in. And
I also think
then
like,
the process starts.
It's the healthiest world, but it's the unhealthiest world.
Yeah, there's a lot of toxic behaviour.
Yeah, there is. And even someone super fit and someone could be very unhealthy with why they're doing it, or it could be masking something. Yeah. And I think it's really important to make sure people have that healthy balance. Yeah. Because, you know, I knew when I was obsessive with exercise, I wasn't that happy. Yeah. And it's like, even though I thought I was happy and I was great from training, I'd get these massive endorphins and feel amazing, but actually I wasn't very happy. Yeah. So it's just making sure that...
Do you know how to articulate that? Like, in the sense of, what do you mean by you wasn't happy?
I just think that, like, for, you know, I think I was at home a lot with Tilly. Tilly was only 2, and as much as she makes me obviously happy,
of course.
And it was a lot easier to go to training. And everyone was saying to me, "Oh, well done, you're doing amazing. You know, you're so fit." Yeah. But I was getting congratulated. Whereas really, I was just like, "This is awesome. I get to train, and everyone tells me I'm doing well. This is great. You know, this is awesome. I get out of the house." And so I think, like, you know, it was that obsession. Then it went on, and then the food obsession. That is not healthy. No. I remember just everyone kept telling me how good I was looking, but it was so unhealthy.
It's hard to keep that up, isn't it?
It's really hard. It's not a normal way of life. So then as soon as you put weight on, you're like mortified.
It's all judged.
You feel like, oh no, everyone... And now I can honestly say, like, I train twice a week if I'm lucky. You know, that's on a good week. Sometimes 3 weeks, 3 days. Sorry, not 3 weeks. No, not 3 weeks. 3 days. And I feel like it's healthier than when I was training all the time.
It's like that balance you were talking about, isn't it? You know, because I struggle with the word balance. I like the word harmony, because I think balance implies that everything's in a straight linear line, whereas that's not the way life is it? No. It's ups and downs. But I just wanted to know, because one of the reasons I do this as well is because there will be people watching that will have certain feelings, and it's nice to know that you feel that way too, especially as a woman, because you know, women talk about their feelings a lot more than men, let's say, but they also do maybe not tell the truth, you know, a lot of the time as well. And I think that's not exclusive to women. I think that's men too. But But I mean, it's nice to know that that you feel that way and that you passing that ethos down. Because I think in any gym, you're always there to improve yourself, aren't you? No matter where you're at, you know. And I think it's good that you're encouraging that.
And I think just like if someone comes, it's not if someone just wants to feel energy, even that day or the day after, or if they just want to feel that energy for that day and feel good, that's an achievement.
Absolutely.
And it's just like any form of improvement, isn't it?
Right,
any form.
Yeah, and that's what I think that's a good thing to say, because I think it's not just about weight and how you look. No. It can just be, today I did a bit faster on the rower, or I was a bit stronger, or I just had a laugh.
That's where it's like most fitness is not physical. It's everyone looks at fitness and goes, it's physical. It's actually more mental than anything else.
What was that first day like after COVID when you were allowed people back in your gym? I bet that was emotional though, wasn't it?
It was, do you know what? It was really good because it just felt like everyone was so happy to be back. Yeah. And
couldn't hug each other though, nightmare.
Couldn't hug each other, no. And can't, it's fun. You can't high five, you can't do partner stuff, like swapping equipment. So we try our best to get around it and do the best we can.
And that's all you can do.
But that first time back, it was so nice to get in there again.
Did you train that day? Or was you too busy?
Probably too busy.
Yeah.
We had a lot. Like, I think I was doing 27 PTs a week when we went back.
Blimey.
It was so busy.
Yeah, I bet.
I've never ever been so busy.
Yeah.
So
it's settled down a bit now.
Yeah. It's now it's
got time for stuff like this.
Nice and calm now.
Yeah.
So.
Good. So, what's the one thing that people always ask you for help with? Would you say? Maybe it's fitness. Maybe it's something else.
I'd say general advice. I'm quite good at being quite honest with people, but in a way that they won't feel like I'm
being horrible.
Yeah, I'm quite. I'd say.
Bit of an agony aunt.
Yeah.
I think that comes with the fitness industry a bit.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
And nothing really phases me. No, nothing.
So you create that safe space. We train for conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I find people so interesting that I learn as much from them as they do. You learn off each other, and that's how you
never think you know it all.
Get your knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you go around saying, look how smart I am.
Exactly.
I just learned all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was a pretty quick one. Yeah. So what are some of the greatest lessons that you think you've learned? I mean, it sounds like you've already told a few, but what would you say is the real...
I'd say, trust the process.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always learned, is trust the process with whatever you're doing. Just trust it and be consistent, and it will pay off.
Yeah.
Another thing...
What sort of tactics do you think you use for that? Because, I mean, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like someone asks you how you want to lose weight and you say, let's do more or whatever. And that's really sort of awful advice. Yeah. So trust the process.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
If you're enjoying it, then you're always it's going to be so easy to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference with We Train. Everyone's like, how do you do it with 3 kids? How do you do it? I enjoy it. And I enjoy it, and there's not many jobs you would work for a year for free. You wouldn't. What if you said to someone like, you're going to do this, you're going to work this many hours for nothing? Would you do it? Like 100%. I've enjoyed every minute of We Train, and that's the difference. It's because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
If I was doing something I didn't enjoy, I don't think I could do it. And I think that's the difference.
It also feels like you found the gratitude in it all. Like you're grateful for like what I got from you at the beginning was, I wasn't thinking about getting more members. I was grateful for the ones I had.
Yeah.
And I was appreciating them and showing them that. And that goes a long way. And then that must have, you're giving them all that love, they give it back.
Yeah, they do.
Which is where the enjoyment comes from.
And I think that is it, being grateful. Like, grateful for what you have, and that's what kind of COVID, I think, taught everyone was, just...
Be grateful.
Be grateful for what you have, because,
Yeah, I mean, I had a birthday over lockdown. It was probably one of the best I've ever had.
Really?
And I've had some weirdly extravagant birthdays at times. Yeah. as a kid, it's like you sit back and think, I didn't really have that money.
No. Yeah.
But my birthday was spent with my kids. I got a hammock, had a couple of beers, listened to some music, had a great day. It was just simple, as you say. You learn to be grateful for what you've got.
Definitely.
Anyway, I felt like I cut you off. Was there anything else you were going to say? So the question was, what's one of the greatest lessons?
I'd say, just enjoy life as well when it's good.
Yeah.
Because I think at any time something could, my kids are healthy, my parents are healthy, exactly. But while it's good, because it won't always be.
No.
My parents are good, they can help me with the children, and it's enjoying their time as well, and, having while everyone's healthy around you and life is good as it's going to be, enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, that's important because, you know, it sounds like you can certainly say you've experienced it when it's not.
Yeah.
So you've got something to compare it to. And I think most people can in their own way. It's not to diminish what's happened to you or anybody else, but I think it's important to...
Yeah, and I think like learning that, like downtime, I remember walking around the point and not looking out and not really feeling like the view was like beauty. Like I remember looking out and like I don't even think this is beautiful or like, and then now I look out and I'm like, oh, I love this view, it's amazing. And I just remember little things like that. And it's horrendous when you're in it. It's just horrible. And I think I can really empathise with people that are feeling down and for whatever reason, it's just, and you can't just snap out of it. You can't just make yourself okay. It just doesn't happen like that. It's the process of...
Do you have any daily sort of routines at the time? I mean, tell me if I'm being too intrusive, but did you feel like maybe you were getting a bit depressed, a bit down?
Definitely.
Maybe?
I think at times, like when I first moved into my house, I rented a house in Mabe, and I remember just sat on the kitchen floor looking down, and Tilly came up to me and was like, Mummy, I'm hungry. And I remember just getting up and it just felt like that all the time. And luckily Tilly was constantly needing things and I had a baby. But then I got Lodger.
All right.
She was amazing. She's like one of my best friends now. I didn't know her, but she lived in the house. And then when Robin moved in, we then just had such a great time. Yeah. And it was fun. It started becoming better and it was having that company and, you know, that's, like I say, then purpose.
Because even though you've got kids that, you know, I'd imagine, I mean, my sister did a bit of what you've done going through that alone. Yeah. And, you know, even though you've got children in your life, you can still feel lonely.
It's still lonely and it's not like you can just... It's not like they understand. No. It's not like they understand.
Well, kids are inherently...
Like, Mummy, I need this, Mummy.
They don't mean to be selfish, but they're like, I know you're going through something.
I used to deal with it by being out the house all the time. So I used to be out with them all the time.
Yeah.
Never be in, just be out. And I think that's how I deal with it. I just be out. Whereas now, like, there's not one place better than I love than being at home now.
Nice.
I just love being at home. That's even if it's doing nothing, like, love it. And you know, I remember being a single mum, you said, was there any coping mechanisms? Another thing was I had to have everything really neat and tidy.
Yeah.
And that was and because I had to pay all the bills and everything, which I'd never done before, I had to be really organised with it. Whereas now, I can be completely unorganised, but I feel okay.
Yeah.
But at that time, I also remember feeling like if this isn't organised, I couldn't drink any alcohol. Because if I drank alcohol, I'd feel really down that week. Whereas now I could drink a few glasses of wine and I feel great. And I just remember things like that at that time, that when I was going through it were really hard. But
sounds like you were like really trying to get control where you could.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's another thing is getting don't do the things, you don't want to be on self-destruct. You don't want to make yourself feel worse. So anything you can control, definitely control. And then focusing on business helped me massively because it gave me that purpose.
Yeah.
And then from there, then I met Mike, we've had Safi, and it helped, you know.
That's a wonderful advice.
How it happened.
You dropped some real bombs in there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well done.
So that was like how it worked. So it just kind of progressed like that. And then we were going to have an extension. Actually, so we'd save some money to do our extension at home, and then the money went into the gym. So we were there, like in this like really old kitchen.
Yeah.
But we had a gym, so we were like, okay. So that's how we ended up
getting there. Amazing. So that's one of the biggest lessons. I mean, what advice would you give to yourself of 10 years ago? I mean, 10 years ago. So
10 years ago. Probably wish I'd done it sooner, done some business stuff sooner. I would have been independent more when 10 years ago. I always say to my friends, always keep your finances separate, as separate as you can.
Yeah.
I'm extremely independent now. Mike is very good and helps a lot, but I do like to have my own separate things as much as I can.
I suppose that's good for your self-worth as well.
Yeah, and I think that for me was So that's just something I'd learnt, and that's something I'll always try and persuade my friends to do as well.
So what's that advice again?
Just always kind of keep your own independence and separate finances. Just that's what I learnt from my situation before.
Yeah.
Was that
keep everything separate as best you can.
Separate, and there's no, we have children, so that means we can still progress in our careers. It's harder because we have the children to look after.
Yeah.
But you can do it. It's harder, but you
find a way.
You can do it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I, will always.
So one of the messages might be that, if you believe in yourself and you commit to yourself and you invest in yourself, you can achieve whatever you want.
You can, and that's,
which is living proof, really.
And having 3 children, don't get me wrong, it's hard sometimes, and without the grandparents, it wouldn't be possible to do what we do. But we do. We
I see where we're going.
I do it, and I'm doing it. So. Yeah, I always say though, it's fine until I get ill or tired, and then I'm like, So it's again, one thing I've learned is always make sure you're okay, because if you keep, putting yourself first, and if you put yourself first, then everything else works around you.
So what would you say to someone that says, "Oh, that's a bit selfish"? What would you say to that? Because I don't believe that, but I know. I
would say. No, it's not. And if you look at everyone, it's as soon as I'm okay, everything's better. The kids are better. I'm a better girlfriend. Everything is better.
Yeah.
The gym, the members, I'm sure can tell when I'm on a really good high mood.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Everything is better. So it's making sure you don't.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm getting
down.
at with that is that some people think, looking after yourself is selfish. And you can call it that if you want to. I don't particularly think that's a negative thing, but I liken it to that, when you're on an aeroplane and they say, if anything happens and the masks come down, make sure you sort yourself out before you look after others. Because if you can't do yourself, then you can't look after others.
Exactly.
So I think that's lovely advice. Really, really nice advice. So look after yourself, keep your stuff separate.
And I've learnt that because when I was single mum life, I remember if I was down, and that's why I had to be so organised.
Yeah.
Because if I was down, it would have an effect on the children, because I just feel the energy would go, whereas as soon as I felt better, then automatically I could see Dawson was still a baby, but Tilly would automatically
perk up.
Yeah. And I'd noticed that a lot.
But then you bring everyone else up, don't you? And then everything becomes easier because, if so-and-so is not doing so well, then, you can all cuddle in.
Yeah, and I definitely find that with the gym, if it's a negativity can spread quite quick. So can positivity though.
Yeah.
So, how do you want someone to, if, my friends if I speak to one of my friends and they're in a happy mood, I can automatically just become happier.
Yeah. And you've got certain friends
quite
like
infectious,
that.
Isn't it?
No, it is. And it's nice, like you say, with the we thing, it straight away gives that sense of us, community, family feel, and that, I think, well done, Ross.
Yeah, thanks, Ross.
Okay, so last question is, what's next?
What's next?
You got any plans down the line? Sort of?
Well, I definitely want to concentrate solely on the gym. The gym is obviously still progressing. We've, in lockdown, I call it my isolation creation, started a clothing range.
Okay, right.
So a We Apparel clothing range. So
that's a surprise. You called it We Apparel.
Yeah, so funny enough, it's called We Apparel. So that's kind of, at the moment, just kind of taking off. And
is that part of it here?
This isn't, no. The leggings are.
Okay.
So
where can they find that? People that may
on
be
my
interested?
website.
Okay.
So
what's that?
We Train, www.wetraincornwall.com.
Okay, it's no shock.
No, it's got we in it again. So yes, and just keep looking after yourself. Make sure members are progressing in what they want to be, hitting their goals.
Absolutely, great.
So whatever goals that it could be, making sure you're just knowing what everyone wants to achieve, really.
Are you looking to do? Because you mentioned a ball and retreats.
Yes.
What's happening with that in a minute?
So at the moment we can't do any of that.
Right.
We've got a retreat to Italy next October.
Wonderful. Great.
So we've
What do you do on
transferred
there?
it. Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah. We drink.
We do drink. We do drink. We genuinely do drink a lot. We did on the last one. We drank lots of red wine, but we did all have an amazing time, and it felt right to drink.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plan to.
Yeah.
But I got about 20 messages off everyone on the way over because I was already at the house.
We hung over.
Can we drink? Can we buy wine? Can we buy? And I was like, shall I let them buy wine? And everyone was like, yeah. So we were like, okay, as long as you bring us.
It's that harmony, isn't it? It's that harmony of like, I suspect you were quite active in the days,
and
so
we were. And
what
I
sort of
think
things
that's
did you
the
do?
difference. We were active in the day, so no one really felt bad.
Yeah.
Because we did loads of different things. We did yoga.
Love it.
We did. Pool training. There was a river like nearby, so we would do some stuff down there. It was amazing. We did life coaching stuff as well.
Nice.
So little tasks for everyone to do to learn a few different things about themselves.
Nice.
It was just.
What sort of things do people find out? You don't have to be specific about people, but what sort of things?
Like priorities, and we do a lot of life. Like we did our life circles a lot, which is really, really good. So people could see on a spider diagram where they might need to focus.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously your life changes, but so sometimes something can be really good, but then something might not be. So it's just constantly. It's quite good when you see it written down on paper.
Gives you an overview of your life.
It gives you that overview,
Yeah.
and I think when you see it, you can go. That's because it's a bit like counselling. When you go to a counsellor, you've got all these things going around in your head. So all a counsellor does is tries to
focus you
and explain what is going on in your head, and it's just emotions, and I think it's the same with just life in general. You can go, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but actually when you write it down and see it, then it's so simple.
Do you have people in that sort of industry around you? Do you have like members maybe that do that, or is it just something that you've worked out yourself?
Something I've done myself. I had some life coaching. I don't think I would have set We Train up without the life coaching, which I haven't said about before.
No.
I think that I had business focused life coaching.
Right.
It was amazing. I learnt loads on that. And he was very good how he handled me. Like with, I didn't know at the time what he was doing, but now I look back, I was like, he totally got me. So I found out quite a lot about myself. Learnt not to over promise and under deliver. Always under promise and over deliver. So things like that.
And that's amazing. Yeah, great. I mean, wow. Wow again.
So I'd say that was really beneficial, and anyone that kind of wanted to do a similar thing is amazing. So that's definitely something that helped me.
Great. I mean, so moving forward, you're just going to focus on the gym?
Focus on the gym.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
You are a remarkable person. You should be really proud of yourself, genuinely.
Thanks.
I think that's one of the things I see a lot of amazing things in successful people, but consistently, unfortunately, they never take time to be to be proud of themselves, and I think that you should do that.
Thank you.
Either in private or do it on social. We are proud of you.
We proud.
Speaking of social, let people know where they can find you on social media.
You can find us at wetraincornwall.com website, or We Train Cornwall on Instagram or Facebook, and have a little look and see what we do.
Get in contact.
Get in contact with us, definitely.
And if you're coming down from up country, this is what we say down in Cornwall, come and give them a visit. Can they do that? I say that.
Definitely. You can drop in.
Come and have some, because you got coffee there now, right? Good coffee.
On a Monday.
On a Monday.
We've got good coffee guys on a Monday.
Yeah, salsa on a Saturday.
Exactly.
We dance.
We dance, we party. Not yet, soon.
I bet we nightclub soon.
Yeah.
Right? Just take over.
That's a good idea. Saturday night. Can't go anywhere else.
We dance.
You have to work out though, so it's allowed. So.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed this. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
That's all right. But I mean, hopefully I'll get to come and hang out in your gym at some point.
Definitely.
And you can kill me.
Do some.
Have some fun doing that. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching, and tune in next time for another episode of the Strength Shed Sessions.
Thank you so much to Carly Geach from We Train in Cornwall. What a wonderful interview. We had a great time. I know, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist it. You've got me doing it now. No, in all seriousness, thank you so much for being so honest in the interview. You are an incredibly inspirational person who's really come up against some really tough obstacles in her life, and you should be proud of yourself. I meant what I said in the interview. You really should take that time to be proud of yourself, because what you've achieved is remarkable. The people you inspire will greatly appreciate you in a big time way. Keep doing what you're doing. You're a super incredible person, and I wish you all the best in the future. Just keep being you, keep doing what you do. Thanks for watching today. I greatly appreciate it, as always. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, and like my Facebook page, and I will love you forever. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on another episode of the Strength Shed Sessions.